Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons. We're back with some more A Hat in Time, and at the end of the last episode I promised to tell you a story that pertains to the shade of blue that hat flare is, and I keep calling them flat hairs on purpose in case you were wondering. And yeah, I just said remember that shade of blue because it won't be important later. Here we are now is later. I'm heading towards the windmill in case you were wondering, and basically, about a week ago I had a dream that my family had been... You're welcome. We'd been invited to, go and watch, I think, the Eurovision Young Dancers live, because Ensconced was part of this, it was like a choir, except they danced instead of singing, but otherwise they were a choir. And Ensconced was, a member of this choir. She wasn't even, the lead member. Thank you. And... Oh, right, okay, I wondered why this was down here. It's because that bridge goes down. So she'd invited us as, her +1, except there are 3 of us, of course, myself and both my parents. Yet for some reason, she was part of this dance choir representing the Czech Republic, of all countries. Ensconced has no ties to the Czech Republic whatsoever, so I'm not entirely sure what the logic there was, but whatever. And we were also loosely aware, and I want to really stress, this is a dream, this is not a real thing. But in this dream, we had heard that someone was planning, some sort of, bomb threat or something, and that they wanted to, in the dream, this is not real, in case you're worried, they wanted to, let it loose during the Czech performance, and we're like, security's gonna take care of that, that's not gonna be a thing that happens. Of course, it's a dream, so you're thinking about it, and of course that means that stuff is going to happen. How enter? How make in? Well, there's, a thing here. Can I... Oh, it's a bounce pad. That's not a window, that's a hole. It's the same thing. Anyway, so we're watching the show, the Czech Republic comes on, and this... Good! This child appears on stage. And, he's... Oh, the other notable feature is, he's wearing this blue hat that kind of looks like the ice hat from this game, except it's all one colour, and it's that shade of blue I was talking about before. And he shouts something in what's either, Polish or Russian or some Eastern European language that I don't fully recognise. It could have been Yugoslavian, but it didn't have the right, grammatical constructions to be a Yugoslavian language. So I don't know much about Yugoslavian languages, but I know enough to identify when it's not one. Yes, they are. If you just run, you're fine. Anyway, so he shouts something, and I don't understand what he says, because of course, I don't speak... past a certain Eastness, until you get to Japan, I just don't speak the local language. And so I don't know what he said, I just recognised the word for Ireland in there. He was complaining about Ireland for some reason. And I believe this was just after Ireland voted to repeal their laws against abortion, but I don't think any Eastern European countries particularly care about that. Anyway, so he shouts this thing about Ireland, and then explodes, and no one is injured at all. But obviously there's some damage to the venue, and people are panicking, obviously. People are acting as though other people have been killed or injured or whatever, and they hadn't. But that's because it's a dream. Or, well, I say dream. It's not, this is not an aspiration of mine. I don't intend to do anything with it. It's an anecdote. And so, yeah. And because my parents and I were sitting near the front of the venue, we were right next to a... Oh, you just teleport next to the horn, good. We were right next to a fire exit. So I just sort of got up and just, ran out. And I mentioned to my mother, Oh yeah, we have split paths now, that's a thing. Okay, so I mentioned to my mother about this dream. In the real world, I tell her about this dream. And she says, what, you didn't go and see if Laura was okay? And then she said, actually, you know what, that's the right thing to have done anyway, because in that situation, it would be everyone for themselves. Which is kind of harsh, but I guess she has a point. But anyway... first of all, these split paths, you can only use them when you're approaching them, not when you're coming out of them. So be aware of that. But anyway, so yeah, I ran out, and for some reason this was being held in the UK to begin with. But, Can I attachment, please? Can I please? Game, thank you. You need to hold in the direction, or at least make sure that you're leaning towards the direction you want to go. So, anyway, I ran out into the town, and I got several streets away from the venue, and I went into this, side street, and there was this, barber's shop that was, it catered to male hair grooming, and, it was already, it was known to me as a safe house for some reason. I'm not quite sure why I would be familiar or welcome there or whatever, but it was a safe house. And, like, the head barber there, like, in the dream, I knew him, but, in real life, I don't know. Like, in hindsight, I think maybe he would have been, like, an embodiment of Tristan Blackwolf, an author with whom I am good friends, and we support each other, and he is a fan of mine, and vice versa. So, I would imagine, I guess that's how I dreamed him to be, or something? I don't know. Anyway. So he's there, he's running the safe house, and like, he lets me in to be safe from the exploding angry child. Bear in mind, this child was like 10, or thereabouts, like, not a toddler, but like, not all that old. So, yeah, I sought refuge in this safe house, and there we were. And that's about it. Well, that's not entirely it, because later on in the dream, like, this recurred like 2 or 3 times. There was just... this child kept turning up at Eurovision events and exploding, and it was just rude, and oh no. Okay, I just slightly missed the bounce pad. Also, I've run out of stuff to talk about now, but...
this one leads to a horn. You can just see it.
Ah yes, there it is. Okay, so I was aware that we had to pass through the village of the fuckheads. A curly tail horn trail, that's easy to say. I thought this was on the birdhouse path, and it's not.
Take care, kid. I went up ahead and scratched slightly.
Only slightly, though. Now, just keep an eye out, because there are friends here, and we don't take kindly to friends around these parts. But this is one of those places where having the time stop hat actually really helps, because if you're... basically, if you're on the ground, you're susceptible, but otherwise, just get up, get away, and just... have a fantastic time not getting purloined. Which, I didn't even know that purloin was a word. Like, I got the impression that it was because, of course, there's a Pokemon called Purloin, and it's, like, obviously a pun because purr, and it's a cat Pokemon. And, actually, that's an ongoing debate in my live... Hello, cat kid. In one of my live streams. I insist that... Excuse you. Did you just... Did I collect a pon, or did you collect it for me? There we go. You have to counter them. And even then, like, you can see it just there, kind of. They are not fun to deal with. Okay, so, first of all, I only recently found out what the word purloin actually means, but anyway. I've been sort of friend arguing. I believe Time Rift appears around here later. I think that's why this is such a prominent location. Anyway, we're arguing over, like, friend arguing, like, obviously no hard feelings in any direction, but, like, I believe that Kokichi from excuse you, yeah, they steal your hats sometimes as well, that's just not a fun time. Give me that hat back. Give me back my Gabbity Mac, it's no good to you. It looks wrong because it's far too long for you. I argue that Kokichi from Danganronpa V3, if he were a Pokemon, he would be a Zorua, because he just looks the part, and then they're like, no, he would be a Purloin. And I'm like, but Zorua though, at least we agree he's a Gen 5 Pokemon. So there's that at least. This episode has just been non-stop horse garbage, apparently. Okay, where is that, though? It's up there somewhere. We must go away. Like, not away. Well, I mean, we do need to vacate the premises, but, you know, we must head in a direction, which can also be taken to mean we must leave. So, go a space way, as opposed to go away. Though we inevitably go away in our going in this way. I see a friend. You can't catch me because I'm spoofing with time. Wait, spoofing is already a word. Not to be confused with spoofy, which is just a spubby of Spotify. And for once, I'm saying gibberish words, but these are actual, real words that other people recognize as having meaning. Okay. I was going to say how, but it's obvious how. Also, we have another, like, patch of poop flowers here. You know, poop flowers. You know, poop flowers. Stinkweed. I'm not sure where I'm going with this at all. Sort of like life in general. I don't really know where I'm going, what I'm doing. Like, I'm pathetically passive in life in general. Like, I'm one of those sorts of people who is just like, oh, I guess this is what we're doing now, and I'll just go with stuff. I have no ambition whatsoever. Now the commentary has gone from nonsensical to just plain sad. Hee! Anyway, we're approaching the windmill. I don't know how I feel about the windmill. It's one of my least favourite parts of Alpine Skyline, but then again, it's kind of a place of two halves. Because, like, I don't dislike the windmill, but I also don't enjoy it, but there's no reason for that. Okay, you have things to say, but you're not voiced for whatever reason. Good. So, I like the aesthetic of this area, and I like the music, and I just like the general, like, you know, melancholy feel of it, and also obligatory reference to Feel Good Inc. because it's a sky island with a windmill on it. But just, I don't know, like, it feels lethargic because we do have to climb up this whole thing, but it is a fair and fun platforming challenge, so there's no good reason to hate on it. And also the music is, like, good and atmospheric, and, like, it evokes that feeling of, like, well, Feel Good Inc.-esque nostalgia, and also it's fitting, and I don't know how to make feel. And okay, I thought maybe I could do a fancy thing there, and I could not. Oh, I don't think this is how you're supposed to do this, but here we are. There you go. I may have cheesed a puzzle, and also you may have noticed between the last episode and this one. Well, actually, I had a false start with this recording, but I'll get to that in a moment. But between the last episode and this one, I went through my subscreens and just removed all of my hat flares. I have to consciously think now, is it hat flare or flat hair? And yeah, I just took them all off because I prefer the vanilla hats. I don't actually care all that much. I'm not, like, I'm a strong advocate for the original hats because the fox mask is cute. It's not even called the fox mask, I just call it that because it's easier to remember. Is this corn or are they leaves, or what? I don't know, I appreciate what this area does, but at the same time, I find a distinct lethargy in its design. And just generally, areas with this kind of aesthetic, I don't know how I feel about them, because I have that same conflicting do I like them, do I not kind of thing. And it actually reminds me of, well, I don't remember for certain. I want to say it is... Fuck. Oh, we can just climb back up here. I thought maybe I'd have to cut, but no, there's a helpfully placed back cut in the area you fall down. You don't have to redo the whole thing if you fall down here. That's totally why I failed that jump, just to demonstrate that the punishment for failure is not that great. Okay. First of all, that pile of ponds. Oh, there's a. Ah. Okay, no, I had a series of thoughts there. That pile of ponds had the item aura around it, and I thought, oh, that's just because it's sitting on top of where a gift thing is, a gifticality. A thing that will basically be a rift token. But I think maybe it's like actually inside the thing, and like we have to get all the ponds in order to access the thing, so... Oh good. I tried to be fancy freef and forgot that's not how it works. Do I get the prize? Can I please get the prize? Can I please get the prize? Can I please? I don't think I'm going to make it in time, even with the time stop hat. Come on, magnet badge, come through for me. I'm going to get this anyway. Okay, I got the thing, even though I didn't get all the ponds. Seems like a bit of a design flaw to me, but hey. I got all the ponds anyway. So that went well. Can I ding that bell? I don't trust that bell. It looks too conspicuous. Can I ding it? I want to ding it. I can. Ding dong. And that just makes those gates open. So we have another back cut. This area is really well designed, and I have no reason for having beef with it. Oh, I did not think that would let me back up, and it did. There's no reason. And in fact, going back this way is actually going back the harder way, because we had to do platforming to get here, when I could just walk around and use the back cut we just unlocked. But no, I have to go the fancy E-Freef way. Except I can't. Or can I? Hat kid, don't fail me now. Ah. Oh, well. Good. I'll take it. Okay. This episode has been non-stop ramblies and crazytude, and... Wait, how do I get back up? I know we can... Oh, there's a ladder. So I don't even need to bother with that rotating cube, it's just an introduction to the notion that there may be cubes here. I have so many mixed feelings about the windmill, and I don't even know why, because look at how well designed it is. And I'm going to put the time stop hat back on because it's useful. And which way is the forwards way? I forget how to exist. Is it trees? Oh, there's trees? Wait a fuck. Ah. It's so well designed that I didn't see this way in here, except I'm not sure whether that was my fault or the game's fault or a combination of the two. Now, this is another one of those areas as well, where if you fall from the top to the bottom, or, like, from a decent way up to the bottom, then you will respawn where you fell from, rather than having, like... Like, the floor is treated like a bottomless pit, so you don't have to worry about, like, having to climb all the way back up just because you didn't land in a death zone or whatever. Like, it makes more sense to see demonstrated than it does to explain, but it's a really considerate design choice, and it just shows that the hat people know what they're doing. I keep forgetting that you can't dive after wall jumping. Such a friend. By which I mean such a useful game mechanic. Those were some interesting noises. Wait, I could cheese this. I could use this gear cog wall thing to cheese my cheese. Hat Kid, let me be cheesy. I want to verticality, please. Never mind, I'll just do it the normal way. The music is a waltz and it's so whimsical and I fucking missed. I said I like how whimsical the music is. I didn't actually specify that I liked it, but I do. Even though it makes me feel some type of way. We have cubes, it's like infinite jumping apparently. That should not have saved me, but it did. Everything is bop, dipping dots on Roombas. What are dipping dots, by the way? They don't exist in this country, therefore they don't exist at all. That is my view on well, I mean, just America-centrism in general. Like, not political centrism in America, but just when America decides it's the center of the universe and, oh, well, we have it, so it must exist in the rest of the world. Like, how they can't understand why Japan would, like, censor out the mention of Twinkies in their films. Could it be because they don't have Twinkies in Japan, and they wouldn't know what one is if you told them but it existed? How can I just do a fancy jump? This will probably not go in my favor, but it did! See, sometimes you just need to have vertical balls. Why? Oh, I was gonna say, why are you giving me sprint yarn? But it's not, it's time stop yarn for some reason. But the thing is, balls don't have to refer to testicles. They can be mind balls. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, bearing in mind I didn't even want to say balls in the first place. You know me and my not saying balls routine. That's it, I've got off the deep end. This episode's been so full of just crazy, shitty nonsense on my part that that's it, I'm done. I can't reel anymore. I can't door. It really feels like I'm trying too hard to make can't door a thing, bearing in mind it was just an offhanded, like, not even joke, but just a thing that I said in, well, I didn't even say it, oh. Okay, I wondered if they went a fixed distance or if I had to, like, hold it down a certain amount of time or what, but just a thing I put in the subtitles of Spyro 2, and that was it. And I feel like it's kind of become my Hoopy the Hoop. Like, Valve, I believe it was. They wanted to make Hoopy the Hoop the big meme of Portal, either Portal or Portal 2, to the point that, like, oh, in the ending, you see Hoopy the Hoop, rolling away from the facility, and they wanted that to be the big meme, and instead the cake is a lie as a meme instead. Instead. I feel like that's, like, I'm trying to push that in the same way, and it's just not working, but I'm not willingly pushing. I'm just not, I don't push things. I don't even have hands. How am I playing this game then? Research. Flavors. And for that matter, a thing that bothers me is my observation that, like, when I first heard that the cake is a lie is a meme, like, I asked, oh, is that because of Portal, or is it because of Super Mario 64? Because to me, either seemed possible. And to this day, even when I mention that, just like in jest, people still shoot it down like I'm some sort of idiot, like, oh, well, it's obviously from Portal, how can you not tell? And I'm like, yeah, but literally the opening of Super Mario 64 is like, hey Mario, come to the castle, I made a cake for you. There is no cake. I mean, sure, it was pointed out that, okay, you do get the cake at the end of the game, but, like, that wasn't made as part of the invitation process. That was... Also, we must hook shots. Like, that cake hadn't been made at the point of invitation, and, if anything, the invitation itself may have been forged by Bowser. So, we don't... Where am I going, by the way? Oh, just back in. So we don't know for certain if the cake ever wasn't a lie. And yet people act like I'm an idiot and there's no validity whatsoever in what I'm saying. Like, only you would be stupid enough to associate Super Mario 64 with cake. So, you know, that's just my assorted mixed bag of feelings about cake and Mario. But yeah, please tell me I'm not the only one who at least sees the relationship there. Like, you surely can understand why someone might associate the cake as a lie with Mario 64. And another thing about Super Mario 64. Oh, we have them. I forgot they were on this path too. But okay, so the plaque, you know the one. In Super Mario 64, there's a fountain plaza with a statue of a star, and it's got like a little inscription underneath. And the internet is so divided on what it says that, like, it's just insufferable. Because the internet's basically divided into two halves, and both halves are half right about it, but they refuse to compromise because they both want to insist that their perception is entirely correct without giving any room of concession for the other, when in reality, they are both literally half right. They have both got one half right and one half wrong, and the half they get wrong is the half everyone else gets right. And I say this with a specific thing in mind, because one of the interpretations is L is real 2401, and they try to retroactively fit some sort of meaning to the number 2401, and there is none. They try to say, oh, something, GameCube, whatever. Like, you could try, but I need to get that balloon. It's just speaking of L, because, Luigi, balloons, Mario Odyssey. But anyway, the other half of the internet, reads something, Eternal Star something, which it doesn't help that one of the Mario Party games actually featured the Eternal Star as a character or something, and that didn't really help because people felt vindicated in believing in the Eternal Star, and that's not it either. Bad! I was aiming for the wrong place anyway. I needed to be heading in this direction, which I wouldn't have noticed had I not fallen off. But yeah, the actual inscription, and, admittedly, I don't have a supreme authority on this. I'm just going on what I've read on the inscription. I've looked at the inscription myself, and, this is what I've seen. To me, it quite clearly says, L is real star of Mario 64. I forget how the end of it's abbreviated. It's been a while since I've looked at it, but, it's an abbreviation for Super Mario 64. It's supposed to just be this tongue-in-cheek joke of, haha, Luigi's the real star of this game, even though he's not in it. It's supposed to be this tongue-in-cheek allusion to Luigi, who isn't actually in the game. And, as I said, I don't have the whole uncle at Nintendo trope. This is what I've read for myself in seeing the script, and yeah, okay, I have no more right to say that what I'm seeing is any righter or wronger than what anyone else is seeing, but it makes sense. You don't need to do any mental gymnastics to interpret it, and it combines what people have been interpreting about it anyway. And as far as I'm concerned, my way is the right way, so everyone can shut up, even though that does make me very much a hypocrite relative to what I was saying about people not compromising before. But that's what the inscription says, though. It says L is real star there is no 2401, there is no Eternal Star, and I just don't know why this is a massive internet debate, when it's just, we have an answer and it makes sense. Problem is, if you were to, ask Nintendo for an official, interpretation or something, I emphasized "an" there because I said and it just made no sense. Anyway, we're nearly at the top, by the way. But if you were to ask them for, an official interpretation, they would probably try to appease the fandom by either telling them whichever one is preferred by the person asking that they're right, or by telling them whichever one the more popular one is right, or by telling them it doesn't matter, or just generally saying something to imply that, that there is no right answer, everybody wins, and yeah, but there is a right answer though. But then again, this seems like a rather, I don't know, there is I think a thinking error involved here, and I shouldn't worry about it so much, and I shouldn't obsess so much, and I really shouldn't care, and no one should care, but that's my take on the whole thing. I don't know how I spent this entire climb ranting about that, of all things, but here we are. So, I want to say there's something else up here, and I don't remember where it is or what it is or even if it is, so I'll just say that I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and in the next episode we'll head to the birdhouse and potentially finish up Alpine Skyline. So, see you then for that, if indeed that intrigues you.